Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I've been joined by Martin Gray, the York City manager, on what is probably the most frustrating afternoon that you've had so far this season.
Yeah, it's the toughest day since we've come into the club, that we faced with today.
What went wrong for your side today?
Well, I thought we started the first half reasonably well. The send off gives you the advantage, and we didn't sort of maximise the spare man. Having said that, Kempster had a great chance to score 15-20 minutes in the game, and we didn't. But equally, the second half, the bravery on the ball wasn't what it should have been.
Do you think it's a problem across the whole of the team? You want more, you need more from every single player out there?
Yeah. I think it's obvious. I think when things ain't going well, I think the players feel probably there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders. They understand the total pressure from the fans, that the expectations of the people of the club is massive, and the expectations of what players have to deliver. But at the end of the day, we've got to be better than what we are, and we're not proven to be better. It's truth. We've got to put in better performances. We had 9 corners today, and 7 of them landed in the keeper's hands. And I work very hard on jobs to do, and unfortunately you can't translate that once it's on the pitch. You can ask, and that really annoys you, because we do a lot of work on trying to make opportunities maximised, and it looks as if we haven't, and we do.
We mentioned in commentary, we've seen you doing it down the training ground. It's not that for a lack of trying on your behalf, is it? The players, just for whatever reason it is, haven't performed this last few months.
No, and I hope people understand. I understand the disappointment, the total disappointment for everybody, because I want to do well. I really do want to do well. I want to turn it around, and I hope I'm given the opportunity to do that, because I'm working very hard. Believe me, I'm not a man that hides behind anybody. I'll put my neck on the line and do everything in my means to get right. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's getting very frustrating. But we've still got to remain focused on the remaining games we have.
You made 5 changes today. A couple of them because you had a couple of fit strikers at the start of the game. Can you talk to us how you chose the 11 that were going to start this match this afternoon?
Well, obviously Patterson comes back from Middlesbrough, and I thought he started quite bright until he got a slight niggle himself, so he had to come off at half time. We knew Kempster was only going to last an element of time, but he came off before with a reoccurrence potentially of his injury. I thought we needed a bit more presence up front. I thought Sean Newton, he's not a natural forward, we understand that, but I'm missing John Parkin. It's been no hidden secret since he's gone out the team that we've really found things difficult, just because of his strength and character, his personality. He's not running around, but the ball stays upfield, and he's a presence. So John's been a massive miss, and it's come at the wrong stage of the season.
And you finished the game with players. You mentioned Sean Newton. He's played every outfield position I think so far this season, either with you or with Gary. You finished with Hamza Ben Sharif up front as well for the majority of that second half. Looking on from the outside, it just looks a little bit disjointed. We have to have a go.
I put James Gray's on. They hammer him before he comes on the pitch. The fans hammer him, and 2 weeks ago he scores a winning goal and they're on his back. It's great. But since then, he gets warmed up. The fans are destroying him, absolutely destroying him. So, to put him out there, it's very difficult for him. I think mentally, it's tough for the players, and I understand the fans' frustration. I'm frustrated for the fans. I really am. So you go, well, do we put Hamza up front, who's big, strong, just to try and be a nuisance? And we did that. It's very difficult at the moment.
Talk about the goal you conceded today. Once again, there was errors at the back that shouldn't really have been allowed to happen.
Yeah, I think Dan Parslow and Adam Bartlett get mixed up in it. Dan Parslow could he head it back, could Adam Bartlett not come for it. They do neither. They collide, drops them, and the lad puts it in the box. So it's a soft goal through an error.
And the one contentious decision from the crowd around us, maybe not from our perspective, the sending off of their player. Did you think it was the right red card? We did during commentary.
could go either way. I think when you get a red card like that, you think, great, you've got an hour to play, a red hot day. It goes in your favour. It's a real tough challenge from both players, and referee probably is the reaction of all players. Probably gets the player sent off.
And in a way, it rejuvenated the crowd as well, didn't it? Got them even more against your side and with the home team.
It did. And as I say, I apologise. I apologise to the York fans. It's very, very difficult for them, and I can only apologise. But as I said to you, we've got to remain focused. We've still got a chance. It's getting more difficult, and I'll not go hiding. The players, I hope, don't go hiding as well. We've all got to stick together, show that toughness, that mentality that we will go to FC United on Tuesday and win the game.
Yeah, that has to be the belief, doesn't it? However improbable it is, you need to get 9 points out of 9, and then you just never know what can happen.
Yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be in this position. We should be locked and come to wood. It's not. And we've got to make sure that, as you said, pick up maximum points. You've
talked about your own position briefly. You can hear the fans behind us saying, Martin Gray, get out of our club. What do you say to them?
I apologise. I apologise for the display. It's not intentionally. I want to win for everybody. I want to win for the fans, the people that run the football club, and the players. I'm a proud person, and I want to make sure that I give it everything. I do give it everything. But I just hope that people believe in me, stick with me, and I turn this corner.
Obviously, there's a lot going on behind the scenes at the football club at the minute. Have they given you assurances that you will definitely be, as long as they're here, you will be the manager?
Well, I think Dave Penny came out and spoke about that when the question was asked on Thursday. But again, it's down to the board of directors of how they see the future of the football club. As I said to you, I hope they stick with me because I've got a lot to offer. I'm not one to hide, and I want to make sure that we turn the corner and get right for them.
Do you think sometimes, I know the manager's head is always on the block in football, do they take a little bit too much criticism at times, do you think players need to stand up and take a little bit more personal responsibility themselves?
I think everything's a blame culture now, isn't it? I think it's not me, it's somebody else. But it's about being together, showing togetherness. And I'm there, I'm in charge, and I'm in the firing line. So what goes on out there reflects on me. So I take the brunt of it, and rightly so. That's what I'm here to do. But equally, as a team of people, we've got to stick together.
And you've got another game on Tuesday night. You picked up more injuries again today. How do you go about selecting a starting 11 for that game?
Wrap them up, try and get them out there. It's all come at the wrong stage of the season. But equally, we've got to work with what we have. There's no transfer window open. We've got to just make sure that we hopefully select the right team and get out 16 players ready for the next game.
And obviously this really is the last chance saloon if there is going to be one on Tuesday night. Do you have to take a risk with a John Park and Louis Armand, or are they just nowhere near being able to pull on the shirt yet?
No, they're not. And
Simon Heslop, can he play 2 games back to back?
Again, we'll have to see how he is tomorrow. But again, these are the scenarios that we dealt with. So we'll see how they are tomorrow morning, and then we'll get ready for Tuesday.
We've got to ask you about Vinny Steele's thrown in probably a little bit too early if things were going your way. How do you think he did?
I thought as the game went on, we got him on the ball more and more. So second half, he produced some great bits of quality. He's 16-year-old, remember. But I think there's a player there, real talent player there. He's brave on the ball. His quality was good at the back stick. Didn't really want to play him for a full hour and a half. To be honest, it was an hour that we had penciled in, but because of the injuries, he's had to put a shift in on a red hot day. So I thought he had a nice, solid debut.
And Flynn McNaughton rested there. I know he played for the youth team. What was you thinking behind that?
Again, we felt that we had 3 or 4 players back, and it's sort of just keeping them grounded as well. Flynn's not ready to play in the first team yet. If we ask him of that, then we ask him an awful lot. But he's a kid that's got potential as well.
That's the York City manager Martin Gray talking to us live here on BBC Radio York Sports.